Hey everybody, we're here at Oshkosh 2026 at the Mission Aviation tent. We're going to be doing some awesome interviews with some of these organizations today.
Let's go.
Everyone, we're with JARS today. We're with Hannah. So we're just going to ask a few questions. Could you tell us a little bit about JARS, what you do as an organization, who you serve?
Yeah, so JARS is the Jungle Aviation and Relay Service. We're a Christian mission organization designed to help cover the last mile of missions for that green band right at and right below the equator, where there's so many villages, tribes, nations, and tongues that have not yet heard the word of Christ, and we help them achieve salvation through giving them, through using special use aircraft, landcraft, and seacraft in order to reach them and cover all of those mountains, all of those rivers, all of those oceans that are unable to be crossed any other way.
That's amazing. What would you say is your greatest need and maybe your greatest prayer? For people maybe watching this video in the future, what do you need? What's your prayer?
Yeah, so one of our biggest needs at JARS is simply that. We need some prayer. We need some people to help lift and uphold our missionaries there. We need our missionaries to be encouraged. We need people to know about mission aviation. We need people to share about mission aviation to all people so that people know that this is a thing. More technically, we need a lot of administrators right now. We need a lot of people with the ability to dispatch aircraft and know how to schedule them and send them out into the far reaches of the jungle. We need people who are able to do that. And we're also always in need of other pilots, mechanics, and AMPs in order to help cover that last mile of missions.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
So Mission Aviation Fellowship is a ministry that's been around for about 81 years.
Awesome.
The founders of MAF were pilots and mechanics in World War II. They'd seen the airplane used as an instrument of war. They came out of the war and really had a vision. What could it look like for an airplane to be used to bring life? And so that was really the start of MAF's work. So 1945 was when we were founded. And then since then, we've been flying in countries all around the world. MAF's unique in that we fly for all sorts of different organizations. Last year we flew for nearly 300 different ministries that are doing work that could be something like church planting, Bible translation, community development, education, healthcare, disaster response, all these different types of needs that come up where you need an airplane to get you into really hard to reach parts of the world. So that's what we do. This is our Kodiak that we have here at AirVenture. It's one of the workhorses that we fly in different parts of the world, and whatever we can carry in that airplane, we'll carry it into some pretty rugged types of airstrips.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What would you say is your greatest need as of today, and how can people around the world be praying for y'all?
Yeah, you know, we consistently would say that our greatest challenge is finding the next generation of men and women who are really willing to go do challenging things like flying small aircraft in hard to reach parts of the world for the glory of God, right? So we do this to serve Jesus. We're compelled to do this because of our love and gratitude for Him. And so we're praying that the Lord would raise up that next generation. And guys like me will one day need to retire, and you know, we need people to take the baton and move the ministry into the future. So that's our greatest challenge. That's something you could pray for.
Awesome. Will do. Thank you so much, David.
Absolutely, yeah, my pleasure.
Go check out MAF. Hello everybody, we're with IAMA today with Kyle and Cameron, and I'm going to ask them a few questions and we're going to talk about it. So first question is, who are you? What's your organization? What's your heart, your mission statement? Who do you serve? And then the second question is, what would be your greatest need or prayer request that we could be praying for y'all?
Sure, I'll answer that first question. IAMA is the International Association of Missionary Aviation. So every industry has its association. That's exactly what we are. We are basically all the organizations are members of IAMA, and we work to support those organizations.
For sure. Praying for the missionary aviation movement as a whole. We're making a lot of traction. And in the past, we haven't done so well at recruitment. But now with the IAMA Next Gen initiative, all the organizations are getting together, and we're building an online platform called En route for people that want to be on the mission aviation journey, to have accountability, to have access to resources and recruitment, whether they're at one of the primary schools that do mission aviation, or if they're just the only person in mission aviation they know at a state school. So if you'll pray that the Lord will use the En routes and bring the right people to it, and that the community will be fruitful, and that God will raise up the next generation for mission aviation.
Yeah, so En route is going to launch August 1st, so please sign up and join us. We're going to have small groups. It's a community for each of us to support one another, encourage, build one another up, and just walk this journey together, right? So join by August 1st. The deadline officially is August 31st, and then we've got a wait list after that. But you definitely want to be there at the beginning, so come join us.
And learn a little bit more about this mission. So what is UIM? What's the organization? Who do you serve?
All right, we're with UIM Aviation. We serve in Mexico. We work with 9 different tribes in the Sierra Madre Mountains in Mexico.
That's awesome. How specifically do you use aviation to serve these people?
Gotcha. So most of the places that we're flying are areas that are either inaccessible with vehicles or very difficult at different times. So something like a 20, 25 minute flight in an airplane could save somebody 12 hours of driving. So oftentimes, if there's a medical emergency or something like that, that's a life-saving amount of time, us getting out there with the airplane and being able to fly them in such a short amount of time.
That's awesome. What would you say is your biggest need and maybe your biggest prayer request for this upcoming year or years ahead?
Right now, we are struggling a little bit with changes in government and changes in regulations in Mexico. So right now we've had several areas that have kind of gotten shut down, or there's a little bit of violence or things like that that are having us pull back from certain areas. We love prayer for the believers that are already there, and the ability for us to be able to serve them better in the future. We're also trying to open up new areas, new airstrips, to be able to serve more Christians down in that area, and we would love prayer for that. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Simeon.
Yep.
Go check out UIM Aviation. Hello everyone, we're with Peter with MARC today, and we're just going to ask a few questions to learn more about this organization. So could you tell us about this organization? What do you do? Who do you serve?
Absolutely. So we're an aviation ministry that's based in Alaska. We've existed since 1964, and the purpose is to be a blessing and assistance to the ministries that are working in the 49th state, Alaska. What's unique about Alaska is that 82% of the communities are off the road system and they are dependent on air transportation. So we have a fleet of aircraft. We do maintenance for ministry partners that have their own airplanes. We provide hospitality and logistical support to serve the missions that are working in these isolated communities.
That's awesome. What would you say is your biggest need and maybe your biggest prayer request for MARC?
Biggest need is more people. We've added 3 additional aircraft in the last 3 years. The need for our services continues to grow, and so new people, pilots, mechanics, administrators, and others to help fill the capacity of the requests that we're getting.
That's awesome. Thank you, Peter.
Absolutely.
Go check out MARC.
Thank you.
So what is this organization? Who do you serve?
Ethnos 360 is a church planting organization, began as New Tribes Mission in 1942.
Awesome.
We plant churches among indigenous people. We don't go where there's any Bibles or Christians or churches. We go to the hard-to-reach places where the people have been unengaged, and we go there, we teach the Bible chronologically, and we establish churches, establish leadership, and they function on their own. But when we teach the Bible, we teach it chronologically. But how do you teach that among people whose language you don't speak? So we're trained in language science to reduce that language to writing so we can understand it. We teach literacy because eventually we'll translate the Bible and they need to be able to read and write that for themselves.
That's amazing. That is awesome. What would you say is your biggest need or your prayer request for Ethnos 360 Aviation?
For Ethnos 360 Aviation, we need helicopter pilots. We're desperate for them. We have fixed-wing airplanes such as you see in the picture here, but we desperately need mechanics, helicopter pilots, fixed-wing pilots, the whole gamut of people who cover the aviation aspect. So we're just praying continually that God will raise up this type of people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Dave.
Thank you.
Go check out Ethnos 360 Aviation.
Yeah, so we are a Ministry of Africa Inland Mission, which has had a presence in Africa since the late 1800s, actually. We bring aircraft to the equation, so we are supporting the church and other mission groups, and especially areas where there's poor infrastructure or insecurity. The airplane makes a huge difference because you don't have to rely on the road or other ways to get in and out. So it's primarily, 99% of our flying is for the church or mission groups.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What would you say is the biggest need for AMAir and maybe your biggest prayer request?
Yeah, so we're in the process now of actually restoring that airplane over there, X-Ray Papa Alpha. It's a Caravan. It hit 20,000 hours last year.
Wow.
And so we're working on rebuilding that. We actually need volunteers to come out, and if you've got any skills with turning a wrench, or especially if you've got Caravan experience in maintenance, that'd be great. But any maintenance experience would be helpful. We could use you out there just to get that project done.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, now let's go check out AMAIR.
Yes, FCAP is Fellowship of Christian Airline personnel. There's 3.6 million people who are in the airline industry, and so it's a mission field all over. We have chapters in practically every city, major cities anyway, that it range anywhere from pilots to mechanics to management. She's in management with United Airlines, so just all fields in the airline industry.
That's awesome.
It's just a way for local Christians to get together, that are in the same industry and everything.
That's amazing.
So
That's
it's
amazing.
been around for about 50 years, and also 1971 it started, and the headquarters is in Atlanta, Georgia and stuff, and so it's a great organization.
Amazing. What would you say is the biggest need / prayer request for FCAP?
Probably just to get the word out to local airline personnel that there is something like this here. There's prayer list, prayer requests. It goes worldwide. Whole airline industry. So that's probably one of the biggest things. Is just to get the word out there that this does exist. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thanks, Ken. Go check out FCAP.
Right. Cool.
Everybody, we're with Mr. John here with Proclaim Aviation today. What would you say is your mission of this organization? Could you tell us a little bit about the organization,
Absolutely.
the mission, who do you serve?
Yes, and so in Mission Aviation, we equip pilots and mechanics with the resources and skills they need to serve God where He has called them, some in the States, some overseas, and then we send them into the harvest. It's all about just preparing the men and women for what God has called them to do. So that's our main focus. A lot of times people will come out of a school like Liberty or Moody or SMAT, and they need additional real-world experience before heading overseas to organizations like JARS, MAF, and Ethnos 360. And so they'll be with us for 2 years. They get that experience that they need, and then when they're done, we send them overseas with those organizations. So we send over 65 families right now.
That's awesome.
And we've got 43 in the program, and it's just a real privilege. And we have 3 locations in Spokane. Our home office is in Worthington, Minnesota, and also in Ionia, Michigan.
That's amazing. What would you say is your greatest need and maybe your greatest prayer request? This could be the same, this could be separate. What would you say that is?
So as far as need, we're always looking for men and women that have that call in their life, that heart to serve God wherever He's called them. And when we latch on to them, when we find that, it's just we want to make sure that we break down whatever barriers are keeping them from going forth in their ministry. And so the more that we can identify that God has called, the more that we can help, that's what we're looking for. And that's our greatest prayer request also, is when somebody joins us, is that there's a prayer coverage that not only for the time that they're with us, but that goes on with them for as long as they serve.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, John, and go check out Proclaim Aviation.
All right, thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm here with Mr. J here with MMS Aviation. So what is this organization? What would you say is your mission and how do you serve?
MMS Aviation is Missionary Maintenance Services, which we offer an apprenticeship of 30 months to apprentices who are interested in going to the mission field. So they have to raise their support to come so that we're pretty well sure that they're going to go to the mission field.
Definitely.
And it's a 30-month program, and I'm on staff there to help train the apprentices. And when they're finished, we want them to go out to the mission field. So our slogan is we're preparing people and planes for worldwide missionary service.
That's amazing.
And we work on live missionary airplanes. We don't own any airplanes, but all the airplanes that we work on are live missionary airplanes. And these airplanes can come to us in containers. They can fly in, they can be trucked in, but we put them all back together and they fly out and go serve in the mission field. Our greatest need is we need more apprentices. We need to keep the pipeline going,
Definitely.
to keep apprentices coming in. And the ministry is really growing, so we've got a lot of new equipment. We have a lot of real good people coming on staff lately that are very experienced, and it's been very good. Our 6 years at MMS, we've seen a lot of growth, and it's been very good.
Praise the Lord.
So,
That's awesome. Anyhow, go check out MMS Aviation.
okay.